can all see me and hear me okay? Just give me the thumbs up. Beautiful. Okay. Well, thank you for joining us for yoga today. It's great for yourself and for each other, supporting our beautiful yoga community. So today I thought we would do a little bit of yin yoga to begin with, and then we'll move into some nice asana, followed by a nice, just a silent savasana at the end to rest. So the idea around yin yoga is that we're always moving a lot. We're very yang in what we do. We're doing this, doing that, trying to fit everything in. And sometimes we just need to slow down and we need to take a breath and look after ourselves. And that's what yin yoga is all about. It's about bringing that balance to your practice. So to begin with, we're going to go into a yin pose, which is called a half fish pose. So if you have a block, you can use this. If you have two blocks, if you don't have any blocks, you can lay in savasana to begin. So if you have a block, you can put one block behind where your chest will be and the other block behind where your head will be. And you're just laying back and supported with the two blocks. And if you don't, as I said, you can just go back into a normal savasana, laying on your back, nice and restful. So we're opening up through our chest and just bringing your hands out beside you, just resting in the pose. Here we're going to take 20 breaths. So it's a nice slow way to begin our practice. Taking some big deep breaths in and a big breath out through the mouth, allowing your body to release all that doesn't serve. Softening your eyes and notice the floor beneath your body. And tuning into your breath. Getting nice and comfortable. Noticing the floor beneath you and noticing your chest rising as you breathe in and falling as you exhale. Really surrendering into the floor and coming into your space, leaving behind the busyness of your morning and taking the next hour for your own private yoga practice. About halfway there, we've got another 10 breaths. And last 2 breaths here. From here, releasing any blocks that you may have underneath you and coming into laying on your back, hugging your knees up into your chest and rolling your knees in circles, releasing any tension that you might have in your lower back or your lumbar spine. You're going to take 5 breaths here, circling one way and then the other to balance it out. Two more breaths here. And then placing your feet on the ground with your palms facing down, arms straight out from your shoulders. We're going to drop our knees to the right and gaze towards the left, having a nice twist through the left side of our body. Taking 5 breaths here, just relaxing into the floor. On each exhalation, relaxing a little more into the twist. A deep stretch into the muscle tissue and the fascia. Relaxing your shoulders into the floor. One more breath. And then inhaling as you gently bring your knees back to center. And exhaling as you drop your knees towards the left and gaze towards your right. 5 breaths here. And again, surrendering into the twist. On each exhalation, allow your body to relax a little more into the pose. One more breath. And then gently coming up into a comfortable seated position. Yoga is a very important tool that we can use for self-acceptance. It teaches us to put ourselves first and to really think about things in a more balanced way. So knowing that your body is fine just the way it is, you don't need to change anything, and accepting how you are today and to be yourself, and it's okay to be imperfect. So as we go through our yoga practice today, just keeping that in mind, it's the self-acceptance. And some poses you may not feel that you can quite get them today, but it's okay to be a little bit imperfect. Let's begin our practice with an Om to clear our space. You can join me if you wish, but you don't have to. We're going to take a big breath in and bring our hands to Anjali Mudra, and then exhale all that doesn't serve. Taking another deep breath in. Om. Thank you for being here today. Let's go to a tabletop position, coming onto all fours with our hands stacked underneath our shoulders and our knees underneath our hips. We're going to start off with a cat-cow to warm up our spine. As we inhale, lifting our chest and lifting our gaze. And as we exhale, lifting our spine up towards the ceiling, gazing through our knees towards our feet. Nice curve in the back. Continuing on for 5 breaths, just allowing the floor to support you beneath you, warming up your spine. A little bit of movement right across your spine. Letting your breath initiate the movement. And just focusing on your breath as it comes in and out. Let's go 2 more breaths here. And from here, we're going to have a little stretch through our shoulders. We're going to start off on our left side, gazing down towards your left hand. Inhale and bring the hand up towards the ceiling, opening up through the chest. And exhaling, bring it down and threading it through the right arm. Noticing that stretch through the shoulder. And inhale, coming all the way back up, opening up through the chest. And exhaling, threading that back through under the shoulder on the right. And on our next inhalation, coming all the way up. And then bringing the hand down and underneath the right. And we're going to stay down here. You can move your right hand forward and bringing your shoulder and your ears down towards the mat. If you wish, you can put a block underneath your head to support your head here. Just stretching out through the shoulder, through the scapula on the left side. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths. So just relaxing into each breath. Noticing the stretch through the shoulder. One more breath here. And then inhaling and bringing your left hand back up to the mat. And we'll take it to the other side. So gazing towards your right hand, inhale, lifting the hand up towards the ceiling, opening up through the chest. And exhale as you bring your hand, threading it underneath the left side, hover. And then inhale all the way back up again. Opening up through the chest and exhaling, threading it underneath the left. And on the next one, we're going to exhale and bring our shoulder and our arm down towards the mat. If you have your block, you can place it underneath your head to support your head and slide your left hand forward. And coming into this deep stretch on the right side of your shoulder for 5 breaths. And one more breath here. And then inhaling, bringing that right hand back up to the mat, coming back to tabletop. From here, we're going to go into a child's pose. So having your knees nice and wide and bringing your buttocks down to your heels, walking your hands forward, stretching out through the chest and the shoulders, bringing your forehead down towards the mat. And we're going to stay here for 10 breaths. Noticing the floor beneath you, supporting you through the pose. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out through the mouth. On each exhalation, relaxing a little bit more into the pose. Notice your forehead coming down towards the mat, supporting you, supporting your hands, supporting through the front of your legs. 5 more breaths here. And one more breath. And gently walking your hands back, coming up to a seated position. And from here, we're going to move into a pose sequence with child's pose and upward dog. So keeping your knees nice and wide and your feet together, hands down towards the mat. We're going to inhale and bring our chest forward and stretch through the front of the body, raising our gaze, noticing the stretch through the hips, and exhaling, bringing our buttocks back to our heels into child's pose. And noticing the stretch back through the lower back and the shoulders. And then inhaling, coming back up to an upward dog. Continuing on for 5 more breaths, 5 more sequences. At your own pace, using your breath to initiate the movement. It's tuning into yourself. And we'll do 1 more set. And then bring your knees back to tabletop. Bring your knees underneath your hips. And we're going to take this sequence a little further. We're going to go to upward dog and downward dog. So we're going to tuck our toes under. As we exhale, we come up into our first downward dog for today. Just walking our heels down gently towards the mat, stretching out through the back of our legs. And as we take our gaze forward, we're going to come into an upward dog. So from here, you can either have your knees off the mat or you can bring your knees down to the mat. Choose whatever feels right for you today. And then exhale back into downward dog. We're going to do 5 sequences here, just gently warming up through our spine and our legs and our shoulders. Taking 2 more rounds. And then finishing in a downward dog position and walking your hands together so your thumbs are touching. And then bringing your knees down towards the mat. We're going to go into dolphin pose. So as we bring our tips of our thumbs together, we're going to lower our elbows to the mat. And then bring our forehead down towards the mat and take our legs back up into downward dog and walk our feet a little bit closer to our hands so we get a little bit more of a stretch through this one. And we're going to stay here for 3 breaths. And then gently releasing your knees to the mat and coming back into child's pose. Taking 3 breaths here, just relaxing and getting our breath back nice and stable. And then coming into standing position for our sun salutes. So we're gradually warming up our practice, building up a little bit more fire in our body. We're going to do 4 rounds of our sun salute. taking your feet towards the top of your mat. You all know this practice, so you can go at your own pace, or you can come with me, and at any time you can rest if you need to. Just rest into child's pose or savasana. So let's inhale and lift our arms, lift our gaze, stretching up into mountain pose, and exhaling, folding forward into a forward fold, and then stepping back into a high plank. Or if you wish, you can bring your knees down to the mat into a low plank, and then slowly lowering your elbows down towards the mat. Inhale, lifting up through the chest into an upward dog, and then tucking your toes under and coming up into downward dog, and then raising your gaze towards your hands and step or jump forward into a forward fold. Inhale, lifting your spine, lifting your chest, stretching through the back of the legs. Exhale, draw your chest towards your legs. And then inhale, coming all the way back and returning to our starting position. Nice. So we've got 3 more rounds to go. So let's go. Inhale, lift up. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhale, lift our gaze, lift our chest. Exhaling, stepping back into a high plank, bending your elbows and slowly lowering your body to the mat. Inhale, lift through the chest, and then exhale, coming up into downward dog. Nice work, everybody. Taking your gaze towards your hands, stepping forward into a forward bend. Inhale, lift your chest, feel the stretch through the back of your legs. Exhale, draw your chest towards your legs. And then inhale, come all the way back up. Nice. Let's go 2 more rounds. Inhale, raising your arms, raising your gaze, stretching through the front of the body. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhale, lift the chest. And exhale, stepping back into high plank. And then bending your elbows, slowly lowering your body to the mat. Requires quite a bit of strength. Inhale, lift your gaze into upward dog, and then tucking your toes under into downward dog. Taking your gaze towards your hands and step forward into a forward bend. Inhale, lift your chest, and then exhale, hugging your chest into your legs. And then inhale, come all the way back to starting position. Nice, just taking a couple of breaths here. Just settling in our breath down. It's quite an energetic practice. We've got 1 more round to go. Inhale, lift our gaze, take our hands towards the ceiling. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhale, lift your gaze, lift your chest, and exhale, stepping back into high plank. And then slowly lowering your body down, lifting through the chest, and then exhaling into downward dog. Gazing towards your hands and step forward into forward bend. Inhale, lift your chest. Notice it stretch through the back of the legs. And exhale, hugging your chest towards your legs. Inhale, coming all the way back to the beginning. Nice work. So just step back to the back of our mat. Just taking a couple of breaths here. We're going to go into a warrior sequence next. So you may want to have a block close by for when you go into some of these poses. We're going to start at the back of our mat, turning your left toes out slightly and stepping forward with your right foot, just comfortably forward. We're going to inhale, bending our right knee over our right ankle, lifting our arms up, taking our gaze up towards the ceiling and noticing the stretch through the hips on the left side. We'll stay here for 3 breaths, really stretching up through the body, through the hips. And 1 more breath, and then we're going to take our right hand forward, left hand back, and really elongating through the hands and noticing the stretch through the chest and also the strength required in the thigh on the right side. Taking 3 breaths here, just holding the pose, requiring a little bit of strength through the legs. And then turning your body, chest towards the front, and I want you to take both hands back as you take your chest forward, bringing your hands together in a clasp position. The front knee is still bent into humble warrior, gazing down towards your right foot and really stretching through the shoulders here. We're taking 3 breaths, really feeling the connection to the earth as you stretch through humble warrior. 1 more breath here, and then releasing your hands down to the mat, just to the front of your right foot. If you have a block, you might like to place your hand underneath the block. And we're going to lengthen out through the right leg and take our left hand up towards the ceiling into triangle pose. Take your gaze up towards the left hand, and we're going to stay here for 3 breaths. And noticing how that feels through the hamstrings on the right leg. Again, if you find that you can't quite lengthen out through that right leg, you might have a little bend in the leg, that's okay. It's okay to have a little imperfection here and there, we can always work on it. And then releasing the left hand to the mat. And we're going to go into reverse twisted triangle, taking our right hand up towards the ceiling and taking our gaze with the right hand. And notice the stretch through the back of the left leg, the right leg, sorry. Just taking 3 breaths here. One more breath. And then release the right hand down to the mat. And then inhale, come all the way back up. And bring your hands to Anjali Mudra. And stepping back, give your legs a little shake. And we'll take it to the other side. So coming back towards the back of the mat, turning the right foot out slightly and stepping forward with the left foot. Checking your alignment that you've got your hips and your shoulders facing forward. And from here we're going to inhale, lift our arms, lift our gaze and bend our left knee over the left ankle. That's it, just checking your alignment there. Taking your gaze up towards the ceiling. And we're going to hold here for 3 breaths. And notice how your right hip is feeling. It's quite a deep stretch for the right hip. And then taking your left hand forward, right hand back. Really lengthening through both hands. Feeling the stretch through the front of the chest. And notice the strength required on the thigh on the left side. So really needs quite a lot of strength through your legs for this one. 2 more breaths here. And then bring the left hand behind you and bring your hips and your chest facing forward and keeping the bend in the left leg and bringing your chest down towards your knee and lifting your hands up into humble warrior. Taking 3 breaths here and noticing the stretch through the shoulders and through the back of the left leg. Gazing down towards the toes on the left foot. And then releasing your hands to the inside of your left foot. This is where you can use your block if you have one. Having your left hand on the block or the mat and taking your right hand up towards the ceiling and lengthening out through the left leg into triangle pose. Taking 3 nice big breaths here. Just relaxing into the pose. Noticing how you're breathing. Then releasing the right hand down to the mat or the block. And inhale, lift up through the left hand into a twisted triangle for 3 breaths here. And noticing how that's feeling through the left leg. One more breath and then releasing left hand down towards the mat. And we're going to inhale and lift ourselves up, back up to Anjali Mudra and giving our legs a shake. Well done. Taking a few breaths, just recovering from the movement and the energy and the heat that we're building up. We're going to go into a balancing pose next. We're going to do the dancer pose. So we've done this once before, where we're going to have our right foot forward and we're going to lift our left leg up, taking your left hand back onto the left leg. Now, if you need to be next to a wall or a cabinet or a bed, whatever, that's okay. Opening up through your right toes, getting a nice, comfortable grip on the earth. And then we're going to take our chest forward and take our right hand out in front and lifting that left leg up and pulling through the hands. So you're getting a nice stretch through the left thigh, and it's a lovely balancing pose. Finding your gaze point. We're going to take 3 more breaths here. And then gently release the left hand and release the left leg down to the mat. Nice work. So it's quite a challenging one. And we're going to go to the other side. So this time, left foot nice and open through the toes and noticing the points underneath the left foot to get yourself nice and grounded and find your drishti point or your gaze point to help you with your balance. Bending the right knee and bringing the right foot into your right hand. And from here, we're going to get nice and steady and then take our chest forward and lifting our knee up, bringing the left hand forward for 3 breaths. And then release. Nice work. Give that a nice shake. So sometimes our balance is better on one side than the other, and sometimes our balance is better on some days and not others. So good on you for trying that one today. And if you were a little bit wobbly, that's okay. That's fine. It all gets back to self-acceptance, and it's okay to be a little bit imperfect. Now coming down to your mat, onto your back, and we're going to go into bridge pose, and we're going to lower our back down to the mat with our legs bent, drawing our heels towards our buttocks, and we're going to inhale and lift up through our hips, bring the hips up towards the ceiling, squeezing through the buttocks. You can leave your hands, palms facing down on the mat, or if you like a little bit more stretch through the shoulder, Draw your hands underneath you into a clasp position, and then draw your shoulders together, lifting up, feeling a nice stretch through the front of the body and through the shoulders, and squeezing through the buttocks. Taking 5 breaths here. And 1 more breath. And then release your hands and slowly lower your spine down to the mat, vertebrae by vertebrae. And hugging up your knees to your chest into Apanasana. Moving your body however it needs. It might be around in circles, or you might be hugging your knees close to your chest. Taking some deep breaths here. Taking a deep breath in and a breath out through the mouth. Just releasing what doesn't serve you. From here, we're going to release our knees from our hands, bring the feet down towards the mat. Picking up your left leg and bringing it across the right knee. And then hugging up that left knee towards you. You can draw your knee towards you with your hands, or you can run your hands through the right leg and just draw that in a little closer. As you draw it in, exhaling, and as you move it away from your body, inhaling. Moving your body in a circular direction and feeling the stretch through the buttock on the left side. And then moving the circle in the opposite direction. And then releasing your hands and slowly lowering the foot down towards the mat, keeping the left leg across the front of your right. Taking your hands out to the sides, straight out from your shoulders. And then drawing your knees towards the right side, gazing towards the left. You can use your right hand to draw that knee a little closer to the mat. Noticing the stretch through the left side of the body. We're going to stay here for 5 breaths. And on each exhalation, just relaxing a little more into the twist. And 1 more breath. And then inhale, bring your knees back to center and swap your legs over. So left foot on the ground, left knee bent. Bring the right leg across the front of the left knee and drawing that right knee towards your chest. And from here you can slide your hands through, holding on to the left leg if you wish, or you can hold on to the right knee and moving your body in gentle circles and noticing how that's feeling on your right glute. Releasing through the glutes helps to release any tension you may have in your lower back. And then to circle back in the other direction on your lumbar spine, just releasing any tension in that area. And then releasing your hands, allowing the left foot to drop down to the mat. Hands out to the side, straight out from your shoulders, palms facing up. Exhale, draw that right knee towards the left side into a twist and gazing towards the right side of your body. Using your left hand to draw that knee a little closer to the mat, not forcing it, just helping your body to relax into that twist. And we're going to take 5 breaths here. And on each exhalation, just releasing a little more into the twist. And noticing how that's stretching down through the right side of the body from the chest all the way down through the waist, through the buttocks, and through the outside of the right leg, through the ITB area. Taking 2 more breaths here. And on next inhalation, bringing the knees back to center and placing both feet on the ground, releasing the tension through the knees, and then hugging up the knees towards the chest and doing a few circles there, just releasing your body, rinsing out the twist that we've just done. And from here, we're going to go into an inversion where we take our legs up the wall, or we can go into a shoulder stand, a supported shoulder stand. So we're going to go into this for 10 breaths. As you inhale, lifting your feet up towards the ceiling, or taking your legs up the wall, using your hands to clasp through the hips, so you're holding your body like you're in like it's a fruit bowl. Bring your elbows a little closer together in this inversion position, moving your ankles in a circle, feeling your legs nice and light up in the air, giving your legs a little shake. Just taking some nice deep breaths. You might like to take your feet out wide. So the benefits of the inversion really helps with the immune system. It helps to reverse the circulatory system and also the lymphatic system. So it's a really nice healing, detoxing and relaxing thing to do. You might like to bring your feet together and knees apart. Take another 5 deep breaths. If you're in a supported shoulder stand, you might like to take your feet over the top of your head into plow pose. And then slowly lowering your body back down to the mat as you exhale, and coming into a nice comfortable position in Savasana. Feeling your breath and calming your mind, relaxing your body after your yoga practice, enjoying the energy that you've just built up and the fire that you've just built up. And we're going to relax here in Savasana, just in a silent way for 5 minutes. You might like to put a eye pillow over your eyes. You can have your legs either out in front or in a bent position or supported with a bolster. Just taking some deep breaths, relaxing into the mat. Scanning through your body, scanning through your mind. Noticing any sounds in the distance, let them go without judgment. And noticing any sounds in the room, relaxing into your space. Relaxing into the yin part of your yoga practice today. Starting to notice the sounds in the room and the sounds in the distance. Gently stretching your arms out above your head, stretching through your legs, taking some deep breaths as you're coming back into the space. Gently rolling to one side. Thank you for being here today to share your beautiful energy in our yoga practice and remembering about self-acceptance and taking that with you for the rest of the day. And know that you don't have to change anything to be a better person. It's okay to be imperfect and it's okay to be different. Let's close our space with an Om. You can join me if you wish, but you don't have to. Taking a deep breath in and then breathing out through your mouth all that doesn't serve you. Another deep breath in. Om. As we bring our hands to our forehead for kind thoughts and to our lips for kind words and to our heart for kind heart. Namaste. Nice. How's everybody feeling?
Good, thank you. Beautiful. Thank you very much, Jenny.
Oh, you're welcome.